people are starting to realize, like, what's the point in investing $10,000 in this bag if, one, brands don't care about it lasting anymore because the quality is not good, two, the design is probably going to go out of fashion in 1 or 2 years, and three, I don't really want to spend that much on a handbag because, well, I've got all these other options too. You know, we've got Coach, we've got even like dupes and whatever people are going for these days. I think people used to be so desperate to buy bags, guys, but there is no lack there of bags in this world anymore. Designers are like jumping ship left, right, and center because these brands are not doing as well as they used to. At this point, it just seems like you spent too much money. And I'm starting to think that too. I'm reflecting on how much I spent over the years, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what the hell have I done? Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. I've been thinking about this topic for the last week or so, about how luxury maybe is not as popular as it once was. And we've been talking about this for the last few years. My good friend Super Jacob talks about the end of luxury. Quite often he'll touch on different subjects as to why luxury isn't what it used to be. And what really got me thinking about this is I was speaking to my mum the other day, who used to work at a shoe store, and she would actually make shoes for people. So there was a store in Melbourne where you could go to get shoes just custom made to your foot. So they would make a last exactly to match your foot, and then they could create shoes for your foot. So they'd be perfectly fitting shoes because, according to my mum, making perfectly fitted shoes will help the shoes last longer and they'll be more comfortable. And it's actually really important to get really good, well-fitting shoes. And I said to her, was this like a luxury brand? Because I feel like getting custom-made shoes to match your foot is quite luxurious. And she said, no, at the time that was just the expectation. And now fast forward to now, I mean, you'd be lucky to find a luxury brand giving that kind of service where they're tailor-making shoes to match your foot. And, you know, back in the day, that was seen as a necessity, not even a luxury. But now, you know, you go into a designer shoe store, sizes are all standardized, and even in terms of clothes, you know, there's extra small, medium. But back in the day, you know, they used to make clothes to fit you perfectly, and now that is just not even a consideration. And the main reason for that is, well, it was very expensive to do that, to have the materials and the tools to make things specifically to people's size or foot or whatever. And it just, I guess, as time went by, that became a bit of a dying art. But come to think of it, I feel like that is really true luxury, right? But I think our definition of what is luxury has definitely evolved into something else over the years. And I noticed this from working at different luxury stores, probably since around 2016 is when I started working in the kind of luxury fashion space. And I noticed that the most popular things when I started working in luxury, so around 2016, 2017, were things that showed logo and things that kind of expressed to people that you were a part of something or you were in with a brand. And I think what became the most luxurious thing is to show that you're, you know, in the know, you're a part of the Gucci club, you're part of the Hermes club, you're part of the Chanel club. And the most popular items were things that showed that. So for example, a simple white t-shirt comes in extra small, medium that says Gucci, what became one of the most popular things back in 2016. And it was a sellout. Same with the Gucci Marmont belt, an absolute sellout. I was dying for that belt, could not get my size for a long time, for months. And then eventually I got one in a pearl, little decorative pearl like combination. And I remember, you know, shoes like the Stella McCartney platforms with the stars were so popular. Things like the Chloe Susanna boots, the Givenchy Antigona, and just these things that used to be so popular that really defined that you love fashion and that you're in with the club and you're cool. But you know, I think that's what fashion or luxury has kind of evolved into. It's just not necessarily there for the quality or for even the service. It's just to show that you're a part of a group. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But I think that people are starting to realize that maybe that's not enough for them anymore, you know? If you're paying, especially now that things have gone up in price so much, and that we've seen things hit the outlets and become so outrageously cheap, as we see the pre-loved market get over flooded with Lady Dior bags and Gucci bags that, you know, you're lucky to sell for $2,000 at this point. I think people are starting to realize that being a part of a group or a club isn't as, like, doesn't have the same novelty as it did back in 2016, right? And people are craving for more. But now that brands have really leaned into this idea that they don't have to invest in quality or necessarily service and all this, it has really backfired on them now in 2025. And we're realizing that, you know, these things are so expensive, maybe we don't need to buy them anymore. And there was even a trend to go the other way, to go into the quiet luxury route, which wasn't showing the logo and wasn't necessarily, you know, a really loud luxury, but it was still the same mentality as you're part of a group. You know, even the Romargot to an extent is still an expression that you're part of this like group that is a bit under the radar. It's still about being in a group, but I think people are just like they just don't see the value in investing their money into luxury anymore, because as I said, the novelty is gone of that. And you'll see that luxury stores are not as busy as they used to be. I rode the wave of the boom of luxury, guys. Like, I saw it, I witnessed it. It was insane. The demand for luxury was huge in like 2020, 2021. I mean, that was COVID times, but even before then, 2019, luxury just became a huge part of our lives. And I think it was exasperated from Instagram for sure, YouTube, and it became such a cool thing to wear brands, right? But it probably wasn't the case before, you know, as much. It became a huge thing, I think, due to social media. Now that, you know, the cost of living has gone up so much as well, and people are just really thinking about probably saving for the future. And also, it's not even that. People are less interested in investing into these brands because we're starting to see how desperate these brands are. I mean, look at a brand like Burberry. Like, Daniel Lee's designs went straight to the outlet after 6 months. Like, that's not good, you guys. Even it's rumored that Gucci's creative director, Sabato De Sarno, could be leaving and Jonathan Anderson's going to take over. You see that like designers are like jumping ship left, right, and center because these brands are not doing as well as they used to, and they're getting either managed out of the business or feeling like, you know, maybe there's better opportunity elsewhere. But, you know, guys, it's going to be hard for luxury to become as popular again as it was a few years ago. It's kind of imploded on itself. I mean, I even think about the Louis Vuitton multicolor collection coming back. Yes, it's so popular now. Yes, they're trying to show that it's a sellout and everything. But what are they going to do next year, guys, when it's all dead and gone? When perhaps they've restocked the website a few times and people are over the nostalgia of it? Where are they going to go from there, guys? Like, that was like the heyday of it bags, like the multicolor and all that. And I just feel like, you know, it bags as a concept, like that whole concept of an it bag, it's starting to become tired. I think people are starting to realize that. I think people just don't care anymore, to be honest, because if I think about brands that are trying to push it bags right now, I mean, I think of some of those new Saint Laurent bags like that white tote. Is that really an it bag? Or even, I know Chanel is trying to push this new hobo bag that looks like really bad plasticky leather, and they're, you know, giving it to Jennie for Blackpink and everything. I'm like, surely that's not going to be popular. Like, I just feel like this whole idea of it bags and investing so much money into the hottest bag of the season, it's not going to be as much of a thing in the next 10 years, in my opinion. I don't think so anyway, because we're so just tired of trying to keep up as well. And also seeing how these designs just go out of trend so fast. And it also makes you question what is even a classic style, because as I said, guys, Lady Dior bags, secondhand, they're going for next to nothing. The Gabrielle bag was super popular for a few years, and then, you know, Chanel discontinued it in no time, and now you're lucky to, you know, to resell it for $5,000. Like, definitely I've seen Gabrielle bags for under $2,000 on the pre-love market, which is insane. And I've just noticed that there's so many so much excess of fashion that it's just lost its exclusivity in a way, right? And it doesn't even have the same novelty feel or like special feel, like you got something that's like really rare, because people are just like, oh well, at this point it just seems like you spent too much money. And I'm starting to think that too. I'm reflecting on how much I spent over the years, and I'm like, oh my god, like what the hell have I done? So I think a lot of people perhaps are feeling a similar way to me. Now, I'm not saying I'm selling all my bags here, guys. I have definitely started to curate my collection a little bit more, but I don't necessarily think that people will be as crazy about luxury as they were a few years ago, because the novelty has worn off of it. And I see people now getting into, like, myself, Pop Mart and all that, and that is hyped at the moment. That also is something you buy to show you're a part of a club or part of something special, right? But, that will also have its time. That probably won't last another 5 years, to be honest. Luxury had the same kind of energy about it the last few years. And it's not going to be the same in a few years. It's not good, you guys. Like, people are not seeing the value in investing into it anymore. And even when you see, even brands like Stella McCartney, it's said that LVMH, it's not a part of LVMH anymore. They got rid of it. And to see how popular Stella McCartney was, back in 2016 with their bags and shoes, and then see them go from that to this, it's quite like drastic in such a short amount of time. Even to see how popular Gucci was to now, it's insane how fast things can go wrong, right? And I've even seen it when I worked at Topshop. I know I always bring this up, you guys, but when I worked at Topshop in the early 2010s, it was so popular. It was so hyped in Australia. Like, things were just like, couldn't even stay on the rail. Like, things would just sell out. We never had the right sizes of jeans because they were just selling out all the time. Like, the first 2 years were great. And then it just went to absolute, like, it crashed and burned, you guys. Like, people just got over it. The price went up a bit too much, and it was not doing well, and they had to shut down. Like, I've seen it, it's so crazy how volatile the fashion industry can be. Something can be so hyped, and then a few years later, it's irrelevant. Like, it's just crazy. So I think people are starting to realize, like, what's the point in investing $10,000 in this bag if, one, brands don't care about it lasting anymore because the quality is not good. Two, the design is probably going to go out of fashion in 1 or 2 years. And three, I don't really want to spend that much on a handbag because, well, I've got all these other options too. We've got Coach, we've got even like dupes and whatever people are going for these days. There's no, I think people used to be so desperate to buy bags, guys, but there is no lack there of bags in this world anymore. We're starting to realize this, guys, that there is no lack of bags. Even I know a lot of people were feeling sad that they missed out on the multicolour collection and all that. But I'm telling you guys, there is no lack thereof of bags in this world. We have too many bags. Louis Vuitton is going to keep churning out bags like crazy. And there's going to be bags to buy. And I'm even confident that probably they'll restock the multicolour collection and you can buy it again, even if you have to wait 10, 11 weeks. But, I think a lot of us are starting to not have that lack thereof mindset anymore as well. And I would say for me, I felt like such FOMO, and I do still sometimes feel like FOMO to stock up on bags and buy them now, beat the price increase and, get ahead with my collection and buy. Like, there's a lot of urgency to buy. But that urgency is starting to fade because people are realizing, like, what are we so urgently buying these bags for? Like, it's not worth it. They're not, luxury doesn't have the same novelty as it does. Like, people don't necessarily care if they're part of this brand group anymore because it doesn't matter. We see it everywhere. It's just that, I think it's been done to death in a way as well. And I would say, yeah, YouTube and Instagram did kill it a little bit, right? And maybe we do have to go back to what luxury really should be, making things that last, that elevate us, that, look good, made of the highest quality materials, you know, unique designs, something that we haven't seen before, something that will improve our lives. And maybe we have to step away from things that are not made to last, that are very trendy, or are referencing things of the past that are tapping into that nostalgia that really, you know, are also you're going to get over again pretty soon, right? I think we need to start moving forward and stop looking back all the time. That's the real key. And yeah, I think brands should start making things that last, right? And not just designed to fall apart so you buy the next bag. And yes, I also think that they've definitely priced themselves out with how expensive things are these days, and people aren't accepting it. They don't want to spend that much money, and they are probably looking to brands like, you know, more contemporary brands. But anyways, I just had to rant about that today. But let me know what you think about luxury. Do you see it being as popular as it was again, like it was a few years ago? Or do you think it's on a downward spiral? Let me know, guys, and thanks for watching my video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!